welcome back to Abby's Journeys, and I'm still in Denmark. And I'm going to show you around here today because I'm going to a wee walk over to the canal today. And here we are, just in the opposite side of the town. And this is the train station bit, as you can see. Look at all them bicycles. Loads and loads. And there's the train station, folks. What a beautiful day it is today. So we're just going to take a wee walk over here, over to the canal. There's swings up at the top. Right up to the top you can see the swings. There's our folks, right up at the very top. There's all the big swings, the buses. The roller coaster right over that end. The bicycle, and obviously there's loads of kids who go in them. Everywhere's walking distance, folks, as I said. You want to hire a wee bicycle, have you ever come here? They're everywhere. There's a roller coaster. Get the colour of all these, folks. All the different colours. Quite a lot on in that place. Tell you one thing about Denmark, folks, the place is spotless. Streets are spotless, everywhere's clean. Hotels are clean as well everywhere. People are so nice and friendly, see if you're ever stuck. Directions, they tell you. Have a wee look. See where we are here, folks. Wee windows. Such a peaceful day. Beautiful, sun's out. It looks like an angel up there with horses on it. All the flags up at the top. Gas really cold. Lifesaver. Look how nice these buildings are, folks. That's a museum over there as well. Ford de Valentijn's Museum. If I spelled it right, I'm not sure. But there's loads of museums in this place. Loads. Inside that green door. Sell coffee, tea. All your bikes there as well again. There's a statue, look how much all these buildings are. I bet they cost a fortune. Yeah. And here's the more statues. Says up at the top here, 1796 to 1907, these buildings were all built. So that's something I've not heard in a long time, where I stay. Church bells. I've not heard that in ages. You hear it here all the time. One of these as well. The wee bell. Well, they've actually got seat belts in them, folks. Let's see what's in here. Couldn't have picked a better day to go out. Over here.
Ja, auch, ne?
But of course, as you can see, there are no trash in the water, so you feel it is quite nice. Unless you have any questions here, just
1940 that one was built. Don't know the name of it. Charles something Madsen, 1940. There's a horse up there. to the top. Yeah, folks, you want to get a wee boat out for today? You can actually hire a kayak as well if you want to go out. Sightseeing tickets over here. So you've got hop on, hop off bus, classic canal tour. One of the canal boats. This is the year. This is it. Canal Tours Copenhagen. We'll be setting off soon. Just waiting everybody boarding. So this boat tour takes you just about an hour, so we're setting off in a wee second.
Først og fremmest må jeg bede om jeres fulde opmærksomhed, da jeres sikkerhed er vores højeste prioritet ombord. På den her tur, der kommer til at sejle under mange lavebroer, så det er rigtig vigtigt, at I forbliver siddende og passer godt på hovedet under alle broerne. Det her er en ikke-rygerbåd, så I vælger sikkert bord og ikke finde en redningsliste under jeres sæder. First of all, I need your full attention. Since your safety is our highest priority on board, I'd like you all to listen carefully to the following safety instructions. During this tour, we're going to sail under a lot of low bridges, so please always remain seated and mind your head under every single bridge. This is a non-smoking boat, so please refrain from smoking on board, and you can find life jackets under your seats. But with all these formalities out of the way, hello everyone and welcome on board Copenhagen Canal Tours. You're now going on a classic canal tour through the Copenhagen Harbor. My name is Pernille and I'll be your guide for today, and our captain of today, his name is Rasmus. Har vi passagerer med på båden i dag, der har brug for at høre turen guidet på dansk, så stik venligst en arm i vejret nu. Ja, så guider jeg også på dansk. Goddag og hjertelig velkommen ombord her på Copenhagen Canal Tours. I dag der skal I på Classic Canal Tour gennem Københavns Inderhavn. Mit navn er Pernille, og jeg guider her i dag, og vores kaptajn hedder Rasmus. We're already approaching the first bridge of the tour, and ladies and gentlemen, don't be fooled. This is one of the taller ones, so view this as practice. Everybody please remain seated and mind your hips. Her kommer turens første bro. Pas godt på hovederne.
There we go, folks, right underneath.
Please, sir, remain seated under bridges. The captain is not allowed to sail if you're standing up. Thank you. You have the Holman Church to the the left, an old anchor forge from the 16th century that was rebuilt into a sailor's church. Vi har Holmens Kirke her på venstre hånd. Gammel ankersmed fra 1500-tallet, der 50 år senere blev ombygget til Søens Kirke. But on your right hand side instead, I wish that I could tell you that you see the lovely Danish Stock Exchange, one of the trademarks of the city, a beautiful 400-year-old Renaissance building. But sadly, the main part of it burned to the ground in a fire last year. This is a cultural catastrophe for Copenhagen because, as mentioned, it was a very well-preserved 400-year-old building. But they are rebuilding it at the moment, so please come back in 10 years to watch the beautiful Danish Stock Exchange here to your left. Så har vi det store telt her, hvor børsen plejede at stå, og det er jo fordi, man er i gang med at genopbygge børsen efter den her forfærdelige brand sidste år. Dansk Industri siger, at den skal stå færdig i 2029, men skal vi ikke give dem et par år ekstra til det. Husk at passe på, remember to mind your hits. On your left-hand side, we're now going to sail past a great building, and this is the National Bank of Denmark, one of the masterpieces of the Danish designer Arne Jacobsen. It was under construction a few years back because some of the marble had to be replaced, and I don't know what happened, but something went wrong. They must have misclicked on the computer or something, because they ordered the wrong kind of marble. Which means that the last part of the building is now a different shade of grey than the rest, but you know, nobody's perfect, not even the National Bank here in Copenhagen. Så har vi Nationalbanken herinde til venstre. Den er fra 1970'erne, 78 for at være præcis. Designer Arne Jacobsen. Den blev restaureret her for et par år siden, hvor man altså kom til at købe den forkerte marmor. Så nu har den sidste ende af bygningen en lidt anden farve end resten. Men der er jo ikke nogen, der er perfekt. Heller ikke den danske Nationalbank. Next bridge is coming up, so please mind your hits. Her kommer næste bro, så pas på hovederne. So we Danes, we really enjoy to spend time in and around the water, especially when the sun is shining, and you will find all kinds of alternative vehicles here on the water. You will find bicycles bicycling on the water, or you know, the lovely canal boats, or you know, how would it be with a nice hot tub, or what is it called, a sauna, just floating around the harbor. Because actually people love swimming here in the water, and how nice is it to go for a cold dive and then directly into a hot sauna. Yeah, you'll definitely notice throughout our tour today that the Copenhagen harbor has gone from an industrial harbor to very much a cultural harbor. So it's quite common to see vehicles like this all around. But as mentioned, it's also quite common to see people swimming in the harbor. We might even see some people do it on a lovely day like today. And that's because the harbor water is so clean that you can actually swim in it without getting sick. Which is amazing because this has been an industrial harbor for centuries. So the only reason why this has been made possible is through a lot of initiatives the last couple of decades to make sure to clean up the water in the Copenhagen harbor. And one of the organizations behind this work is WWF. And yet Strømmer, we have a collaboration with them, which means that some of the money that you spent on your boat ticket today actually goes directly into funding these projects so we can help each other clean up the water in the Copenhagen harbor and create greater biodiversity as well. Vandet her i Københavns Havn, det er exceptionelt rent, og det er faktisk noget af det reneste havnevand i hele verden. Og det er derfor, det er blevet så populært at svømme her i havnen, og det vil virkelig ikke undre mig, hvis vi så nogle folk komme i vandet på turen her. Den eneste grund til, at det her det er muligt, det er simpelthen fordi, der har været mange initiativer, der har været med til at rengøre vandet inden for de sidste par årtier. Og en af de organisationer, der står bag det her arbejde, det er WWF. Og her i Strømland, der har vi et samarbejde med dem. Og det betyder, at nogle af de penge, I har brugt på jeres kanalrundfartsbillet i dag, faktisk går direkte til at støtte de her projekter. Så skal vi hjælpe hinanden med at rengøre vandet i Københavns Havn og skabe større biodiversitet også. A very hot topic at the moment, not only in Denmark but throughout the world, is Denmark's relationship to Greenland. And soon we're going to sail past a very historic building. At the end on your right hand side you see a yellow building with a red roof. This is the North Atlantic House. And for 200 years, this used to be the trading center for trade within the Kingdom of Denmark, back then consisting of Denmark, Greenland, the Faroe Islands, and also Iceland. Iceland became independent in 1944, so you can still find the Icelandic embassy inside this building today. And today it's not a training center anymore. It has actually turned into a culture house focusing on North Atlantic art and culture. So if you're interested in these kind of stories, I highly suggest you go to the North Atlantic House here, because they have also become a platform for North Atlantic artists. Så kan man forbi Nordatlantisk Brygge her på højre hånd. Det var i 200 år handelscentrum for handel mellem Danmark, Island, Grønland og Færøerne, dengang vi alle 4 lande var en del af det danske kongerige. Island blev selvstændig i 1944, og siden da så har den islandske ambassade altså ligget herinde. Og i dag der er Nordatlantisk Brygge et kulturhus, der fokuserer på nordatlantisk kunst og kultur. But get your cameras ready for your left-hand side, because now here you'll see probably the most famous scenery in all of Copenhagen, and that is of course Nyhavn, famous for the many pretty colorful houses. Så skal jeg kameraet være parat på venstre hånd, fordi der kommer Nyhavn. Det er måske det mest kendte billede, vi har i hele København. Nyhavn was created 350 years ago to connect the Copenhagen inner harbor that we're in now with the King's New Square, known as Kongens Nytorv today, back then, so that all the big trade ships they could sail with their goods all the way to the inner part of the city. Nyhavn blev udgravet for 350 år siden for at forbinde Københavns inderhavn til Bergen og Kongens Nye Torv, dengang sådan til de store handelsskibe, de udsatte deres veje hele vejen ind til centrum af byen. On your left-hand side, we're now also sailing past a big glass building, and this is the Royal Playhouse. The Playhouse here is in addition to the Royal Library, and opened here in 2008 with the play Shakespeare. Yeah, I thought so. So I'm tired. I've been doing this all week. This is not the theater. You'll see that later. This is the Royal Library from 2008. You'll see the Royal. Oh my God, this is so difficult for me. Holy moly. This is the Royal Theatre from 2008, and later we'll see the Royal Library from 1999. Also, we have a special post delivery from our captain to another. You know, sometimes you forget something at home, and we're always here to help, of course. Og jeg siger også lige på dansk, at den store glasbygning, vi har her på venstre hånd, det er altså ikke det kongelige bibliotek, det er det kongelige teater i form af det kongelige skuespilhus fra 2008. So on your left-hand side, you see a beautiful canal boat filled with tourists from all around the world. They've been sailing here since 1904, and apparently are also working as postal services throughout the harbor. So let's give our captain and the other captain a small round of applause. So, but let's continue our journey, because in front of us now you'll see the Copenhagen Opera House. And this is actually the Opera House, and it was built here in 2005 and designed by the Danish architect Henning Larsen. This is a huge building that has 14 stories, but 5 of them are placed below ground. In the main auditorium, and you can see up to 1,700 people. We also have the Opera Park next to it, a new recreational area that opened here last year. Det her er det danske operahus, eller Københavns operahus her på jeres venstre hånd. Designet af Henning Larsen, og det åbnede her i 2005. I kan også se Operaparken, der åbnede her sidste år, det nye rekreative område med forskellige haver inspireret af forskellige verdensdele. But we have now taken a turn, because we will now take you into quite a special area. So basically where we're sailing now and where we're sailing to was completely off limits for the general public for centuries. The area is called Jutland, and it consists of 5 man-made islands, from which the oldest one dates all the way back to 1685. And they created Holland here back in the days to get all the old wooden ships from the Danish Navy out of the central part of Copenhagen, because they were a huge fire hazard. So the Danish Navy was actually located right here at home for centuries. But you'll soon notice that they're not here anymore, so all the old military buildings have been remade into apartments, offices, and different cultural institutions instead. Vi er på vej ind i området Holland her, og i hundredvis af år, der var det helt forbudt at sejle i det her område. Det var nemlig alt sammen militærområde, og det er simpelthen fordi, man fik den danske flåde til at ligge her siden 1685. Det består af 5 kunstigt anlagte øer, men I vil snart lægge mærke til, at militæret altså ikke er her længere i dag. Til gengæld står mange af de gamle militærbygninger stadig, og de er blevet ombygget til forskellige lejligheder, kontorer og kulturelle institutioner. The next bridge is coming up, so please mind your heads. Vi kommer næste bro, plads 1. And since Holmen is a residential area today, after this bridge I'll have to make a very short break over the microphone, so we don't disturb the neighbors too much, but I'll be back to you soon. Og nu skal jeg holde en lille kort pause med mikrofonen, fordi efter den her gang, der har vi en masse naboer, der helst ikke skal forstyrres i de gamle bygninger, men jeg er snart tilbage igen. All the black sheds that you now see on your left-hand side are the gunboat sheds. Gunboats was a weapon used in the war against the British Navy back in the 19th century. We try to notice how all these ships, they lie very close to the waterfront, and they have been built this way so that we could get the gunboats very quickly out of the sheds and out on open waters to defend Copenhagen against the British Navy. Today, everything you see here has been listed, and you won't find a lot of gunboats inside the sheds anymore. Instead, now you mainly find kayaks as well as some offices and exhibition spaces. Alle de sorte skure, eller brune skure, I ser her på jeres venstre hånd, det er kanonbådsskurene. Kanonbåde, det var et våben, vi brugte i krig mod England tilbage i 1800-tallet. Og prøv at bemærke, hvordan de her skure, de ligger rigtig tæt på vandet. Og det var altså bygget på den her måde, så man lynhurtigt kunne få alle skibe ud af skurene og ud på åbent hav for at forsvare Danmark mod den engelske flåde. I dag, der er alt, hvad I ser her fredet, og indeni, der finder I altså ikke så mange kanonbåde længere. Til gengæld så finder I rigtig mange kajakker, og også et par kontorer og udstillingslokaler. If you look on your right hand side instead, in the background, you can see a great construction. And this is the incinerator of Copenhagen, Amager Bakke, also called Copenhagen. Copenhagen is one of the most modern power plants in the entire world, because what's happening over here is that they are burning waste and garbage and transforming it into heat and electricity, which means that a large part of Copenhagen is actually electrically driven by burning waste. That's amazing, and a super new technology. So they're actually collaborating with a lot of other power plants all around the world right now, so more countries can get this technology. Since we are the ones who have it in Denmark right now, and it can burn so much waste that it's more than we produce in the entire country, we're even importing waste from other European countries. You're welcome. This is not only an incinerator though, because on top of this building they built a ski slope so you can do skiing on the roof, all the way down to the bottom, and then you're just skiing on plastic, so you can do it all year round. Vi har Amager Bakke her på jeres højre hånd, den store grå bygning i baggrunden, og det er Danmarks nye forbrændingsanlæg. Og det der gør Amager Bakke her helt fantastisk, det er, at det man forbrænder herinde, det er helt almindelig affald, som er det vi smider i skraldespandene derhjemme. Og så bliver det omformet til elektricitet og varme, så der er faktisk en rigtig stor del af København nu, der simpelthen får elektricitet ved at brænde vores gamle affald. Og det er en helt fantastisk teknologi, som stadig er meget ny, og derfor arbejder Amager Bakke faktisk sammen med rigtig mange andre forbrændingsanlæg rundt omkring i verden, så flere de kan få den her teknologi. Men det der gør Amager Bakke her i København lidt ekstra sjov, det er, at der også er en skibakke over på taget, så man kan stå på ski over det taget hele vejen ned til bunden. Og det er plastik, man kører på her, så derfor kan man også gøre det her om sommeren. Man har simpelthen ikke brug for sne. Next bridge is coming up, some light difference. It comes the boat because below. Right hand side, you can now see a small part of the military that is still left here at home today. You see a few old military ships, and they have all been in active service for the Danish Navy at some point in history. However, most of them have now retired and are serving as museum ships instead. På jeres højre hånd, der sejler vi nu forbi den eneste lille del af militæret, der faktisk stadig er tilbage ved hånden i dag. Og her der ser jeg også en masse gamle militærskibe. Og de har alle sammen været brugt i den danske flåde, men de fleste af dem, de er altså gået på pension i dag og blevet til museumsskibe i stedet for. I'd like to share a story with you of probably the most famous, or should I say notorious, of the ships we have over here. Because that is a great frigate that says F352 on the side. This is the frigate Pederskram, and Pederskram was used here in Denmark during the Cold War, but unfortunately, this particular frigate is mostly famous for firing a missile by accident back in 1982. And this missile ended up completely destroying 4 Danish summer houses and making smaller damages on one. We later chose to name this missile the Whoopsie missile, because luckily no people got injured during this incident. Nok det mest berømte af de skibe, vi har herovre, det er den store grå fregat længere fremme på højre hånd, der hvor der står F352 på siden. Det er nemlig fregatten Peder Skram. Og Peder Skram blev brugt her i Danmark under den kolde krig, men er altså desværre mest kendt for at have affyret et missil ved et uheld tilbage i 1982. Og det her missil det endte med at totalt skade 4 danske sommerhuse og lave mindre skader på 130 andre sommerhuse. Og det er det, vi meget passende senere har valgt at kalde for Hovsa-missilet, fordi der heldigvis ikke var nogen, der kom til skade under den her missil. We also have an amazing example of Denmark's good relationship to Norway coming your way on your right hand side. That is very interesting, a ship with the 2 different flags. Og så har vi også et fantastisk eksempel på Danmarks gode forbindelse til Norge her på jeres højre hånd, hvor vi har en lille båd, der kommer sejlende med både det danske og det norske flag. Crane you see on your right hand side is from 1749 and was used to hoist all the tall masts in the wooden ships back in the days. Try to notice how the windows they get smaller and smaller the higher up you go in the tower, and it was built back then to create an illusion that it should seem taller than it actually is when you look at it from beneath. I kan se en gammel mastekran her på jeres højre hånd fra 1749. Den blev brugt til at hejse de store master i træskibene tilbage i tiden. I kan også bemærke, at vinduerne de bliver mindre og mindre jo højere man kommer op i tårnet. Og det er simpelthen blevet designet dengang for at skabe illusionen af, at tårnet skulle virke højere end det egentlig er, når vi kan få det udefra. We're now also arriving at a really beautiful part of the military area in front of us to your right called Battery 6. From here, there's a cannon shot being fired every single day at sunrise and sunset to indicate when we need to hoist the Danish flag and the flagpoles around the country, and when we need to stick it down again at night. Til højre, der kan I også se det meget smukke i det her område, Battery 6. Battery 6, herfra der bliver der affyret kanonskud hver dag på solopgang og solopgang, for at indikere, hvor man dansen skal hejse lavsvingerne af landet over, og hvornår vi skal teste det igen. Also sailing past Refshaløen, you see this rustic industrial area. This used to be the largest workplace in all of Denmark for almost 100 years, because here you find this massive B&B shipyard and thousands of harbor workers every single day. Burmeister and Wayne, B&B, they were huge international players in the ship scene. For example, the first ever diesel motor for ships in the world was built right here in 1920. However, today, inside these old industrial halls, you can find a lot of culture instead. For example, underground nightclubs, student housing and all the great containers, paintball arena, breweries and distilleries, and it's also over here that you find the super popular Copenhagen street food market Ref these days. Vi sejler forbi Refshaløen her på højre hånd, og det er en kæmpe stor del af Københavns historie, faktisk hele Danmarks historie. Lige her der plejede vi at finde det kæmpe store B&V skibsværft. B&V, det var nogle kæmpe store spillere internationalt, når det kom til skibsindustrien. Så for eksempel den første dieselmotor til skibe i verden blev bygget lige herovre på Refshaløen i 1920. Men i dag der er havnearbejderne altså væk, og i de her grå haller, der finder vi i stedet for natklubber, spillesteder, en paintball arena, studieboliger og det super populære Copenhagen Street Food Market, der finder vi også herovre i dag. If you like a good adrenaline rush, Ref would definitely be the place to go, because over here you also see a 69 meters tall bungee jump crane, and if you're very brave, then you can choose to be thrown all the way down in the water before they pull you back up. Hvis man godt kan lide et godt skud adrenalin, så er det altså også en god idé at tage herhen til reffen, fordi herunder ser en 69 meter høj bungee jump kran. Hvis man er meget modig, så kan man faktisk godt vælge at blive kastet hele vejen ned i vandet, inden man bliver trukket op igen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment we have all been waiting for. We are now going to greet the most famous little lady in all of Denmark, and it is of course the Little Mermaid sitting on her rock in front of us now, and soon on your right hand side. Mine damer og herrer, her kommer Danmarks mest korte lille kvinde, og der er selvfølgelig en lille afbrud, der står på systemet foran os nu, så det kan passe med. As you can see, as always, she's a very popular little lady. So I suggest you all do your best smile, because you're going to be in all these tourist photos soon. The Little Mermaid, she's been sitting here on her rock since 1913, and back then she was a gift from the brewer Carl Jacobsen, the one who owned the Carlsberg breweries, because he fell in love with this character when he saw a ballet about her at the Royal Theatre back in the days. It was the sculptor Edvard Eriksen who created her and used his wife as a model. Den lille havfrue har siddet her på sin sten siden 1913, og dengang der var hun en gave fra bryggeren Carl Jacobsen. Han blev nemlig forelsket i den her karakter, da han var inde og se en ballet på Det Kongelige Teater tilbage i tiden. Det er billedhuggeren Edvard Eriksen, der har lavet hende, og han brugte sin kone som model til det. But this little lady, she really has not an easy life, because twice she's already lost her head. Once, someone stole her arm, and on several different occasions, people also sprayed paint all over her. But luckily, as you can see, every time she recovers and gets clean, so she can sit nicely on her rock and welcome all the tourists to Copenhagen for Copenhagen. Den lille havfrue, hun har altså ikke altid haft det hjem, fordi når hun allerede mistet hovedet. En enkelt gang, så har hun bare stukket hende i armen, og flere gange så har folk faktisk også kastet maling ud over hende. Men heldigvis, som vi kunne se, så bliver hun hver gang rengjort og i stand til igen, så hun kan sidde pænt og nylig her på sin sten og blive velkommen til alle turister.
Dutch, you'll probably understand most of it as well. Beautiful place, isn't it? Beautiful.
To the right, you can now see the two royal people. It is one of the royal family who board the royal accident The balloon with the crown on top is for the royals only, and if they have guests joining them on the cruise, the guests will have to use the pavilion with the awning on top instead. Til højre, der kan I se de to kongelige pavilloner. Det er herfra den kongelige families til at bo på kongeskibet Rødebro. Pavillonen med broen ovenpå, den er forbeholdt de kongelige, og så pavillonen med rød ovenpå til gæsterne. On the same side, we're going to sail past the building called the White Gate with the Blue Eyes, and this is the headquarters of Maersk. Maersk is one of the largest companies we've got in all of Denmark, and this is also the second largest container ship company in the entire world. bådebåder, men også verdens næststørste containerredning, og Mærsk opererer i over 120 lande i verden. Right next to Mars, we're going to set up part 3 old warehouses around 300 years old. They used to stop boats from all around the world to the entire area and had to imagine huge wooden ships like all rounders coming in from all around the world. And today they have a big room inside, so in the first one today, we have the Royal Cast Collection, and the 2 other ones we have the apartments and offices. Vi skal forbi 3 gamle pakhuse her på jeres højre hånd, og her kan pakkerne opbevare varer fra hele verden. Forestil sig 300 år siden i Københavns Havn, altså var fyldt med kæmpe store træskibe, der kunne sejle ind fra hele verden, alle mulige eksotiske varer. Og så er det de her huse, de blandt andet bliver placeret. De er blevet ombygget i dag, som første i række er nu kommet i afslutningssamling, og de 2 andre er i henholdsvis kontorer og lejlighed. Also slowly arriving at the royal residence and main vault. The 4 wide palace is coming up on your right hand side. This has been the royal residence since 1794, and the King of Denmark, King Frederik X, he lives in the palace to the right, facing the water, along with the Queen Mary and 3 of their 4 children. And if you see a royal flag on top of this building, it means that the family is home. So they are home this Sunday, and they could be watching our boat from their windows right now. Så er vi ankommet til den kongelige residens af Marienborg, de hvide palæer her på jeres højre hånd. Det her har været den kongelige residens siden 1794, og kong Frederik han bor i palæet på jeres højre hånd, blandt andet sammen med dronning Mary og 3 af deres 4 børn. Og hvis man kan se et kongeligt flag oven på den her bygning, så betyder det, at familien er hjemme. Så der er de altså den her søndag. The beautiful building you'll see here in the background is the Marble Church. And the Marble Church has the largest church dome in all of Scandinavia, with a diameter of 31 meters, which is approximately 100 feet. And it took over 150 years to complete this church. Den smukke bygning, I kan se her i baggrunden, det er Marmorkirken. Og Marmorkirken har Skandinaviens største kirkekuppel med en diameter på 31 meter. Det tog faktisk over 150 år at bygge den her kirke. So now's your chance to have a nice photo of the royal residence, but definitely also on your left-hand side to get a nice photo of the Copenhagen Opera House. Hvis du gerne vil have et flot billede af operahuset, så har man en god chance med på venstre hånd. We have the Paper Island in front of us to your left. Here they are building a huge new water culture house at the moment. When it's completed, you'll be able to bathe in the harbor water both inside and outside the building. Vi skal forbi Papirøen længere fremme til venstre. Her der er de i gang med at bygge et kæmpe stort nyt vandkulturhus. Og når det står færdigt, så skal man kunne svømme i havnevandet både indenfor og uden for bygningen. So the water culture house here is the newest prestige project of Copenhagen, but soon you're going to see the largest and most expensive prestige project the city has ever seen, because we're slowly making our way into the Christianshavn area. And Christianshavn was a clever idea that our King Christian IV got in 1617. Back then, the Danish economy was not doing too well. Our king had lost a lot of wars against Sweden, and he had some very expensive hobbies. So he needed to figure out how to make some money. He noticed that in the Netherlands, they're doing really well for themselves, so the king, he thought that if he created an entire new landmass here in Copenhagen and modeled it after Amsterdam, then all these rich Dutchmen who want to move to Copenhagen and settle here, all the rich Dutchmen, they lived here and did business here, then he could get all their money through taxes. Not a bad plan. There wasn't a problem with it though. And that simply was nobody had asked the Dutchmen if they were interested in this. So when this area was completed, the Dutchmen didn't come. and the king, he panicked. Nobody wanted to live here, and it ended up becoming a normal Danish workers area and almost bankrupt the Danish economy. However, today, Christianshavn is one of the most beloved residential areas in the entire city, and it's especially famous for its many pretty houseboats and beautiful listed buildings. Vi er langsomt ved at begive os ind mod Christianshavns kanal, og Christianshavn, det var en rigtig god idé, som kong Christian 4 han mente, han fik tilbage i 1617. På det her tidspunkt, der klarede Danmark sig nemlig ikke så godt, fordi Christian 4 havde tabt rigtig mange krige til svenskerne, og han havde brug for nogle flere penge. Han bemærkede, at de havde rigtig mange penge i Holland, så kongen han håbede altså, hvis han lavede et helt nyt landareal her i København, som han modellerede efter Amsterdam i Holland, så ville de her rige hollændere have lyst til at flytte til København og lave forretninger her, og så kunne han få alle deres penge gennem skatter og afgifter. Egentlig en smart tanke. Problemet var bare, at hollænderne aldrig kom. Så Christianshavn endte med at blive en kæmpe underskudsforretning og et ganske normalt dansk arbejderkvarter. Men i dag der er Christianshavn altså et af de mest elskede nabolag i hele byen. Et virkelig, virkelig populært sted at bo, og nok mest kendt for sine mange fine husbåde og smukke fredede bygninger i dag. So, after the next bridge, we will be entering Christianshavn, and here again, since we are entering a densely populated area, I'll have to make a very short break in the microphone as to not disturb the neighbors too much on this Sunday. But don't worry, I'll be back to you on the other side of the canal. Så her, der kommer den næste bro, og så er vi officielt inde i Christianshavn. Her vil jeg igen holde en meget kort pause om mikrofon, så ikke forstyrrer alle naboerne, der bor her på den her søndag. Men jeg er tilbage igen. So first, the bridge is coming out, so please pay attention and mind your hips. Den første kommer bro, så det skal på hovedet. The next bridge is coming up, so please mind your hips. Pas på hovedet, her kommer næste bro. Hvis man gerne vil have et flot billede, hvor frelser kød, har man chancen til venstre. After the bridge. This church is one of the famous works for We will now sail under the lowest bridge of the entire tour, and ladies and gentlemen, we're really not joking here. It is extremely important that you remain seated and please be very careful on this bridge.